Hey guys, welcome to What If You Just Tuned In, you are now to let you are watching Open Studio on Cape Town TV. I'm your host for today's show. My name is Danny Campbell, and we've got an amazing, informative, and exciting show for you today because joining me in studio is an amazing gentleman who goes by the name of Gareth Mason. He is an activist, a motivational speaker, and also a YouTuber. He's got a rare condition, which is dwarfism, and he's here to discuss to us and tell us a little bit more about living with the condition and also how you can persevere and still achieve greatness, regardless of the circumstance you find yourself in. So Gareth, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me. It's truly an honor.
Yeah, I'm glad you are here. I'm glad you're excited and happy. Can you tell us a little bit more about yourself, about a bit of your background?
Sure thing. Well, I'm born in this beautiful city, Cape Town. We lived here for a few years, and then in '99, when I was 7 or 8 years old, we moved to Port Elizabeth. My dad got transferred, and then I pretty much grew up in Port Elizabeth. Went to normal schooling. Have a massive passion for sport, which has been my savior in life because it's got me through a lot of the challenges that I've been having in life. And then I went on to school at Cape Recife High School in Port Elizabeth. In Cape Town, I went to Vista Nova High School. I studied at Varsity College doing sports management and a few other things through VW as an intern. Also connecting still with my sporting passion. And then went on to find a new career in digital marketing, where I'm a digital marketing specialist in Port Elizabeth. Living life to the full, raising awareness, motivating people, which is this journey that I'm on now with my brand Walking Tall with G-Man.
Wow. And you mentioned you're living life to the full, which is very, things like this you have to take into consideration. You have to take into life, going forward when you to achieve greatness, you have to live life to the fullest. And like we spoke earlier on, you have got the condition called dwarfism.
Yes.
So when did this become apparent to you that you actually got this condition?
Look, I've always known that I was different, which was confusing to understand because you go into a shopping center and you have so many people being youngsters staring at you and pointing fingers saying, why is he so short? Look at his big head. Why is his leg so short? And all those kind of things. So I knew I had dwarfism at a very young age. And also the main thing was playing sport at junior level. There was a situation where I would play soccer and be for the under-11 team. So grade 5, 6. But all my friends went up to under 13 and I had to stay behind because I was too small. And they thought that the bigger boys will tackle me or I'll get hurt. And that's when it really started to kick in. Okay, this is not a problem in my life, but it's a challenge. So now, where to next? How do I achieve these goals where I was told I can't do things, and where to next? So I've always been aware of it, but generally with my family and friends, they've treated me equally. My mom and dad brought me up just like they brought up my sister, she's a normal age person, and all through that, it's really, I've been blessed with the greatest family who've treated me equally. So it's never been an issue, but when you get to the public, you can definitely, I was aware because people would point and say kind of thing.
So at home you felt very, very loved and felt at home, where when you went out in public, it was a whole different story.
It's a whole different story.
So you mentioned about doing sports at a very young age in school, where they would choose others over you. How was your whole schooling experience as a whole?
School for me generally was awesome. It kept me going, and sport definitely had a big part to play. However, when I was in a situation where I got to grade 8, and our coach there said, in front of the whole team, Gareth, because you're small, unfortunately, you won't make the team. Now, he's telling me this in front of all my peers, and I mean, I love that coach. I still do. Got a lot of respect for him, but it was a dream crusher. He just told me I could not achieve my dream of playing cricket for my high school cricket team. So what do, you either sit down or feel sorry for yourself, or do you keep on trying? I kept on trying. I went to every practice. I never gave up. 2 years later, I went from grade 8 to grade 10, still playing, still practicing, but never getting that much. And I finally got my selection called up. And I played my first cricket match. I got a wicket on my third game. I shocked everyone because people would laugh when I start going on to bowl and think, this is going to be easy. We're going to take him, we're going to hit him for a 6 or bowl him out. And that was the greatest feeling, was when I proved those guys wrong. I bowled the guy out and he just literally stood there. It's like, what's going on? And then he actually came up to me and shook my hand. And then carrying on, got to play cricket. And then in my final year in matric, I became first team cricket captain. To this day, probably the smallest cricket captain at Cape Recife High School.
Wow. So you have made a name for yourself.
I've definitely tried my best to do it. Obviously, rugby, which is a big love of mine to watch, to enjoy, and even soccer, I knew there would be complications because you guys are taller. So and I'm not the quickest of people, so that would always be a challenge. But cricket was my dream to do it. I didn't see height, whereas a lot of people saw height, and yes, there were challenges, but I did end up getting it and achieved my ultimate dream of becoming captain, which I never thought I'd ever get.
Definitely living life to the fullest.
Definitely.
Have you had any support system in the school?
Yeah, I really have. I mean, the teachers at the school were brilliant. They all treated me equally. Look, I never felt in my life that I was different. I always knew I was different, but through my closest friends who are friends with me to this day, they've always treated me equally. Through friends I've got now, from varsity growing up, I've always been treated equally. And the support group is what prevented bullies and all that from getting to me, because they were always looking out for me and keeping me going. And as I said, my mom and dad brought me up equally. My sister treated me equally with the love and respect. And that has been my saving grace. It's kept me going because I never saw anything as a challenge. And if I did see a challenge that maybe I couldn't have gotten, I would have worked so hard to achieve it. And I love proving people wrong. That was the biggest reward ever, is when I shock them.
Yeah, and that's a good thing to say, proving people wrong, because they think, or many people are thinking that, once you've got a disadvantage to something, or a disability, so to speak, they cut you off certain things. You cannot achieve this because of. You cannot go there because of. Now they put in barriers, that like you mentioned, bullies could not get to you, but there are those out there that are suffering, not just physical, but mental bullies. Have you heard of anything like that?
I have. I actually, just about a month ago, I heard a story that really broke me down, because there was a young boy of 8 years old. I'm just going to say that again, 8 years old. He was bullied. He's from Australia, and he was bullied to a point where he attempted or tried to commit suicide 3 times. Now, the question is to think in your life how cruel some people could be to go through that, and that really was one that really upset me.
All right. Okay, that is very heart touching, to hear something like that, an 8-year-old. And for those that's watching at home, guys, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to continue with our conversation with Gareth. So do not go anywhere. If you're sitting there with a condition, that might be just for you. So stay tuned. Hey guys, welcome to What If You Just Tuned In, you're not too late, you're watching Open Studio on Cape Town TV. I'm your host for today's show. My name is Danny Kambo, and I've got an amazing gentleman with me in studio, goes by the name of Gareth Mason, who's got suffering from a rare condition called dwarfism. Okay, so before the break, we had a discussion about his background, his past, and now we've touched base on some issues that you faced during school time, and also something very interesting that just came up within the article that you read about the 8-year-old that tried to commit suicide. Okay, so I'm just going to let you continue on that, because I see that one actually touched you more.
It did.
Yeah.
It did, because you are 8 years old, and the youngest stage of your life. You're either going to grade 1 or 2, and the kids at his school were bullying him, calling him names, making fun of him, and it just got to a point where he thought, what's the point of living a life? But thank goodness for his great mother who helped him get through this, motivated him to let him know that, yes, we are different, but there is the light at the end of the tunnel. We just need to make that decision to go out there and achieve the dreams that we want to put in place. And his mom is now an activist as well, raising awareness for people with dwarfism. And this young boy is growing up, he's living life, he's now also becoming a little bit of a figure, which is fantastic, and he's now realizing, okay, forget about those bad people, surround yourself with good people who protect you, who want to see the best in you, not the worst in you. And now he's doing very, very well. But it was a story I read a month ago, and it got me to a point where I thought, we need to do more in South Africa to help raise awareness for more people out there. I know of dwarves in Cape Town, I know of dwarves in Joburg, and a few even in PE. And it's important for all of us, whether we have a physical or mental disability, or we are just normal, like yourself. We need to help these guys out to prevent a situation like that from happening, where an 8-year-old, a young boy who doesn't know much about life, still got so much ahead of him, has to have that decision of doing something like that. And that was a story that has just convinced me into a total new level to do what I'm doing and to do it even bigger.
Yeah, and the important thing is just a mind change. You know, you have to adjust your mindset,
Yes.
and that is not just for people with dwarfism, but for everybody.
Yes.
You know, we have to stop saying that, you know, because you're of a certain height, because you have a certain look, then that makes you normal.
Correct.
You know, that is not the case. And many people face different challenges, many people face different circumstances, and we all deal with it differently.
Yes.
And you are dealing with it in your own way, which is of a positive, you know. And so for those that is watching, you know, there's that child at home that's probably got the same condition, afraid to go out. What message do you have for that child?
Never give up. Follow your heart, follow your dreams, follow your passions. Don't let someone be the destroyer of your dream. If you have a dream to climb Table Mountain, go climb Table Mountain, because anything is possible. Obviously, having dwarfism, you're limited to various things in life. But it's important for you to create those dreams, whether they're extravagant or out of this world. Go out there and do it. I was told I couldn't play cricket. I went out there and proved those people wrong. I've got a passion for sport. I kept it going. I've got a passion for the family, who have been my support system, and my friends to this day who have gotten me through my biggest challenges in life. And surround yourself with the best people in the world, and also just go out there and take those challenges and make them your success stories. Make it your masterpiece.
Yes, sir. Wow. So for us as a nation, you know, you mentioned that you know of those in Cape Town,
Yes.
Johannesburg, a bit in PE. So they are everywhere, you know. So for us as a nation, as parents, as leaders,
Yes.
how can we join hands? How can we raise awareness and protect our children, you know, suffering from this condition?
Yeah, I think the best bet is the beauty and the power of social media is connecting with parents or young individuals who are wanting to step out and do the story. Look, I've not always been a person to talk about this, because I would hate going to shopping centers, because you'd be surrounded by people who would make fun of you. But then there was a point in my life when I thought, you know what, forget about that. Make that your story to help those who have the same problems.
Yeah.
So going out there, and if someone says something, maybe approach them and say, hey, that wasn't quite nice, but here's why I am like I am. And going out there to really to educate the people. So I would say definitely social media. There's these brilliant organizations in the UK and America that's called Little People Association in the States or UK, and they build together to raise awareness, having educational posts. And I know it's been tried to start in South Africa. There's a mother of a dwarf called Joshua from started in Cape Town himself, and she's done amazing things to raise awareness. She's got a page on Facebook called Little People Association of South Africa, and she's done a lot to help it. Now, it's important for us to unite together in platforms like we're doing right now, and getting the message out there. Yes. to create it, because there are a lot of dwarves in South Africa, I know, that we're just not aware of. And it's those guys who I want their voices to be heard,
Yeah.
and for them to come out and share their success story like I'm doing right now. I'm still young, I'm 28. I've still got a lot more to go through in life, challenges or success stories. And I want them to join me on this journey, and maybe their story could inspire me. I mean, that youngster I was just talking about, Joshua, he's got Western Province colours for sport and disabled people. I mean, that's amazing. He's going out there, and it's those opportunities that are now being brought to us, which I think is absolutely fantastic. And if we can continue that with the power of social media, the power of a family, strong people who support, we can create a great, great world and raise awareness for these guys to prevent someone like an 8-year-old who is sadly living an unfair life because of bullies.
Yeah, wow. And you mentioned social media as being one of the #1 platforms to do this. And I believe you are running a YouTube channel.
Yes.
Yes, tell us a little bit more about your YouTube channel.
The YouTube channel I created two and a half years ago, approaching 3 years now. And I did it when I was unemployed. I left VW and I was unemployed trying to find a new job. And I thought, instead of sitting, feeling sorry for yourself, waiting for this opportunity, create a new one. So my best mate told me to create a YouTube channel and share your story. So what I did is I created it, and that's to share personal experiences, being it advantages, disadvantages, trying to motivate and inspire people to never give up in life. And Walking Towards Human was platform from YouTube to Facebook to my Instagram, and it's just where I share positive messages as well as my sporting passions. Yeah. Now, my YouTube channel has also gone into a very big sporting population where it's grown into from a rugby point of view. And there's a special reason why that is because I couldn't play rugby as a youngster because I'm too small. So I created the platform to help me express my love and passion for the sport, where I'll review games, preview the games, give predictions, talk about various things, whether it's the Springboks or Super Rugby. And it's just sharing my sporting passion there.
Wow. So even though you could not play rugby, you still somehow connected to
that
rugby.
Was my growth.
There we go. So we're going to take another short break, okay? So for those that's watching at home, please, guys, do not go anywhere. When we come back from the break, we're going to continue with our conversation with Gareth. So stay tuned. Hey guys, welcome to what you are watching Open Studio in Cape Town TV. I'm your host for the day show. My name is Danny Kambwa. I've got an amazing gentleman with me in studio if you just tune in. He goes by the name of Gareth Mason. As you can see, guys, he's living with a condition called dwarfism. Yes. Okay, we spoke earlier on about his past, his background. We also got into a little bit about what you are currently doing, you know, with the YouTube channel, and also how involved you are with the rugby and sports, even though you could not do
yes.
it or cannot do it physically. So I see how much excitement it brings to you when you speak about things like this. And I see how much excitement it brings to you when you talk about reaching out and helping others living with a condition, you know, to try and better the circumstances. So just to continue on that, you're also a motivational speaker. What led you to this?
Again, going back to, I never, going into like a center, I was always aware of people staring, especially younger kids. Yeah. Because sometimes they don't understand. So I made it my goal to try and approach various schools around Port Elizabeth, because that's where I'm from, and to raise awareness and to talk about my challenges and to get a reaction from a youngster. When you walk into a school, you see everyone pointing and they don't understand. So when I walk through, but when they hear my story, watching that change from laughing to actually coming up to me and saying, thanks for inspiring me on today's story, or thanks for sharing this, or do you know I also play cricket, or I've also tried this and that. And it's that really motivated me. And I came, a recent talk that I did towards the end of last year, and I spoke to a school of grade 7 learners, and they were just about to go into their finals and all that stuff. And they needed encouragement and motivation. And when I left there, I shared my whole story about the sport and how I got through my challenges and stuff. The young boy came up to me. He followed me up. He said, "Sir, I need to shake your hand." So I said, "Sure, no problem." I said, and then he says, "Thank you for sharing your story, because that has motivated me to do more, to help more, and to continue bringing a positive message around there." And that really meant the world to me, because it just, I always used to be nervous of youngsters because they would laugh at me. And now, from doing that talk, it's just motivated me to want to do more, reach out to more schools, universities, and really grow this community project of raising awareness for people with disabilities, not just dwarfism. It's person with maybe one leg, person with cerebral palsy. I know of 2 great young chaps who are in wheelchairs, and they are like bucket champions, which is like bowls or something like that. And they're doing wonders with their challenges. And if we can encourage more of those guys who have those problems, again, creating the positive environment. And that's why I do motivational talks in the YouTube side. Yeah.
And one thing you mentioned earlier on before the show is what the government or the union have done with regards to the Olympics, trying to include everybody.
Well, that's the beauty. I mean, you got your Olympic Games, which is the biggest, and now you got the Paralympics, which is a brilliant initiative, giving the people who have disabilities an opportunity to achieve their dreams in sport, which probably so many people are told they'll never be able to do. And there's a dwarf lady by the name of Ellie Simmons. She's in the UK, and she's just got a gold medal. And she's a dwarf, swimming against normal able-bodied guys, but maybe with a mental issue. Hence why they're in part of Paralympics, or one leg, but they still got big, strong arms to swim. And she went and beat them, which for me is amazing, because it's just showing what the Paralympics brings. It gives opportunity to all types of disabilities to go out there, win gold medals or medals, and represent your country with pride. And I think more needs to be done in order to grow this organization. The youngster I mentioned, Joshua, Western Province Colours for sport and for disabilities. I guarantee you he will be there probably one day soon. And it's great. We need more representation in South Africa, in the world, to just show the world what these fantastic young people can do, having a disability but still choose to live life, just like any other able person.
Wow. And you know, when you spoke about that, it really brought this calmness in my heart, you know, just knowing, man, that those that are suffering or those that are living with a certain condition are still recognized, you know. Maybe not for those that we are called normal, but they are being recognized in the category and still being put out there to achieve greatness. So you mentioned those that are tall, strong arms, strong legs, but what other disadvantage do you believe that people with dwarfism have got compared to those that does not have?
Look, your career opportunities are also a problem, because you know, it's not that easy to get like a driver's license, for example. Nowadays, it can, because you can get your cars modified. So there are places in place, but you can't quite go work in a factory like VW because things are out of reach, or the machinery is too big for a smaller person to handle. So creating awareness for that and bringing that in would be great. But it's jobs, careers, moving around, reaching for things. I mean, silly things. Carrying a step ladder wherever you go is like a daily life for me, because you've got to reach for that. But that's also the important message for people with disabilities, is to make a plan. Go get that step ladder. Be proud. It's like my parents thought, no, we can't move everything down for you because we all here. Rather let you go for it. And by working for it and getting things on my own has brought the confidence within me to go out there and to do what I'm doing. Is because they treated me equally. They didn't give me the advantages or the easy treatment, or my sister, like the favoritism, if you know what I mean. It was equal. And that was a powerful thing for me.
Wow. So for those that's watching now that wants to know more about you, get to know more about the YouTube channel, you get in contact with you as a personal speaker, how can they do so?
They can contact me on social media, Walking Toward G-Man, which is my Facebook page. They can contact me on YouTube, just search Gareth Mason. You'll see me up there. Twitter, Gareth R. Mason, as well as Instagram. Or just look me up on Facebook. I'm always willing to lend a helping hand to those who need it.
Wow, so earlier on you gave out a message to those that are living with the condition. So now I just wanted to give a message to those that's not living with the condition but might have someone within the family or a friend.
I live by this quote, and it's a powerful quote. We aren't given a good or bad life. We're given a life. And it's up to us to make the best of the life we live. We can't be let down by people who are either jealous or bullying and all that stuff. We've got to live our life. And if you have a challenge, go out there and approach it. Go out there and make it your success story. And don't let it get you down, because if it gets you down, you're not going to achieve what you know or what's out there. You don't know what you could achieve. You don't know what the potential is. So go out there and live life to the full.
There we go. Thank you so much, Gareth. I really appreciate it. I really had fun with the time we had you on the show today. Thank you so much for coming through. For those that's watching at home, thank you guys so much for tuning in, guys. It's always nice to have you guys join us, you know, in these talk shows. So if you are out there living with a condition, guys, I urge you to go out there, achieve your goals, push for it, you know. Try and get as much in as you can. So for me now, I'm going to have to say goodbye, guys, but it does not end here. Search him on his social media platform from the Cape Town TV crew. Till next time, bye-bye.